Entre las entrevistas que no había subido porque todavía no tenía el canal listo estaba la de Máxima Velocidad, película de 1994 protagonizada por Keanu Reeves, que lo terminó de convertir en un héroe de acción. Venía de hacer Punto Límite, les dejo la entrevista acá arriba, hablé con su guionista por si se quieren dar una vuelta, y ahora era el momento de salvar un colectivo conducido nada más y nada menos que por Sandra Bullock. Hablé con Graham Yost, que fue el responsable de escribir esta historia, que me contó desde cómo fue que hicieron esta película, cuál fue el origen, hasta cuántos colectivos hicieron cagar con las explosiones y demás, porque es una película que se hacía a la vieja usanza, no había tanta pantalla azul y los efectos eran casi todos reales. Hablamos de un montón de historias de esta producción de 1994 llamada Máxima Velocidad.
We now return to Mira Akien and Contre with our latest interview.
I wrote Speed as what's called a spec script, which is no one paid me to write it. I didn't pitch it. I just wrote it, and then it was sold.
When someone put the city of Los Angeles to the ultimate test.
Pop quiz, hotshot. There's a bomb on a bus.
My father had this TV show all about movies, and so he just told me, he said he'd heard about a Kurosawa script that at that point had never been made. So this was back in the early to mid 80s, and that was Runaway Train. And then it was made, and I remember seeing it, and my dad thought it was, we heard about it, that the train couldn't stop or it would blow up. That's not in the movie. In the movie, they just can't get to the brakes. They just can't stop it. It's literally a runaway train. And I came out of the movie, and I thought, that's pretty good. Andre Konchalovsky did a good job, good cast. But I thought, man, it'd be better if it was a bomb. That's more kinetic. It's more, there's danger and who put it there and all of that. And I also thought it'd be better if it was a bus. Because there's something very linear about a train. Because I started to think, okay, if you were on a train, you get a helicopter on and they get you off. But if you're in a city and the bus is moving and the traffic stops, and that just started me thinking. Did a bunch of drafts for Paramount, a bunch of drafts for 20th Century Fox. Then they put another writer on. And he did a terrible job. It was awful. And it was really heartbreaking. It's like, you've ruined my baby.
Yeah.
And then I got brought back on, actually, for a short period, did a big change in the script. And then I was kicked off again, and then Joss was brought in. But all the major parts, there's only one scene in the script that I didn't have in my draft, and that's the scene at the bar after they had the medal ceremony near the beginning, and Jack and Harry are given medals for their heroism. That wasn't in my script. Everything else, every scene, it was just slightly different versions of the scenes, and slightly different characters in some instances. But when I read Joss's script, his version of it, I was like, fantastic. He gets it. He gets it. He leaves the action alone, and he writes funny stuff, and this is good.
For LA cop Jack Traven.
Tell me again, Harry, why did I take this job?
Come on, 30 more years of this, you get a tiny pension and a cheap gold watch.
Cool.
His name came up, and so the director, Jan de Bont, Mark Gordon, the producer, associate producer Allison Lyon, and myself met with Keanu, and we were concerned if he was going to be tough enough. He was a young guy, but he already had the cool short haircut. He drove a motorcycle, and he just had this ease about him, which was okay. That's cool. That's a cool way to go. He's not going to be a macho leading man. He's just going to be a cool leading man. And we all looked at each other and said, yeah, we can do this with him.
Stay on or get off.
Get off.
This is much better.
Sandra Bullock was just a name that came up, and everyone said, oh yeah, her, because she was about to break. Everyone knew she'd been in 2 or 3 films before that, Wrestling Ernest Hemingway and Demolition Man and Love Potion #9, and everyone knew that she was about to pop. And then Dennis Hopper was just, America's favorite crazy man.
Yeah.
And he'd be perfect for it. So I'm lucky to get Jeff Daniels and Joe Morton and on down the line. Great casting by Risa.
Thank you very much.
I read somewhere that Sandra had to learn how to drive a bus. Is that correct? Because she did.
Well, she did, but she was never, I don't know if she ever had control of the bus. She had to look like she knew how to drive a bus. I'm sure she took lessons, But when you see her steering the bus, she's not steering the bus. There's a guy dressed as an extra back with a little steering wheel, and he's steering the bus.
Do they think I'm doing this for fun?
I would go to the set for the big stunts. So that first bus blowing up in Santa Monica, I was there that day, and you could feel the heat from the explosion. Very little computer graphics in the movie. So that was awesome. And I was there for, the first day of shooting, and then there for the bus jump.
Everybody hold on!
There were 12 buses used in filming.
What?
And there was one bus that was used just for that. And it was, I think, lighter than the other buses, so it was all stripped down. The driver, Jeffrey, I forget his last name, stunt driver, he was not sitting up at the front of the bus because they knew that the weight of the engine of the bus was at the back. So they knew that as soon as it went off the jump, and it was just jumping over a flat pavement, right? There was no gap. It was we just needed to see a bus in the air. They knew that it would start to go like this, that the rear would come down. The fear was if he was sitting up at the front or anywhere near the front, when it went like this and slammed and the front came down, that it would break his spine. They had him in the middle of the bus and he wasn't sitting. He was standing and he was on bungee cords. So he was suspended slightly off the ground so that when it came down, he would just bounce.
Yeah.
And the only thing that was weird is that the ramp that they built, which they built out of steel for the bus to jump up, was really only about as wide as a bus plus a foot on either side. It was like he had to hit it exactly. It's like, couldn't you have spent a little money and give him like 5 feet on either side just to make sure? And the funny thing is that when you see the bus come down in the movie, you see it from behind, and it kind of crunches the bumper a little bit at the back. It was, that was a bus that they just set off a jump that was only 2 feet high just to get that landing. And because this one, it really started to go like this. And it crunched the whole back of the bus, and it did slam down, and it blew out the front tires, and so he kind of squirreled off the road, and just, foot off the gas, just kind of riding it out, and it just came to a stop, and he was fine. But that was a big day. That was an exciting day. What it came from was the director Jan de Bont said, and this was sort of late when I was in that first run with it before the other writer came in, and then before I came back and before Jost. He said it'd be great if there was something where it felt like it was a brick wall, or something there's no way they can survive.
Yeah.
And we kicked it around, and what if there's a gap in the freeway? And I was thinking that they were going to have just like some dirt at the end or some construction stuff so that it would have a reason to jump up in the air. But I watched it again last week at a film festival. I haven't seen it in a long time, 10 years. And it really pops up. And it's like, why is it doing that? I don't know. But anyway. I was not, and the same thing for Jost. We were not invited to, as I put it, I was not invited to a party I didn't want to go to. So I thought the idea of a cruise ship was a bad idea, but I was not asked. I was not asked to write the film.